Howdy. You ever have one of those days where you get roped into doing stuff you didn't really have time to do, but you got to do it because they're family? And that's us today and every day, but mostly today. So my cousin's got this 285 Massey, and I mean, when I say hot, when you fire that tractor up, the power steering lines get so hot that you couldn't touch them. You throw water at it, it's like, it's bad. It's really bad. So I thought I'd come take a look at it. The problem is other people have already done things to this tractor. And I think I know what's going on with it. So my uncle and him changed the pump on it, thinking that might be the problem. Because, I mean, it very well could have been. That didn't do anything to it. If anything, it gets hotter. Which tells me one thing. Now, generally speaking, in my experience, hydraulics get hot for two reasons. One, obstructions, or two, bypassing when it shouldn't be bypassing. So that leads me to believe there's only four parts to this whole thing. It's got a pump, it's got lines, it's got a orbital, or I don't know, whatever some of you other guys called it when I was working on my 1800 Charlene or what, I don't know, whatever. It's the little motor that the steering wheel hooks to. And then you got the hydraulic ram. Well, all the heat goes between the motor and the orbital. Someone had put an orbital on this tractor a few years back for other reasons, and I almost think it sounds like the problem started right after that. So what do you guess? They put a closed center hydraulic orbital on that and not an open center. I mean, so here's my thoughts. I got a brand new one right here that I know works. I'm going to go try it on their tractor. And I know this is for open center. So worst case scenario, it doesn't work. No big deal. I'm only out my time. And I still got to figure out what's wrong with it anyway. You guys, let's go give this a shot, see what it says. Well, here we are. Now the real obstacle, it's not that one, it's this one. Maybe if I move that one out the door, I can get to this one a little easier. Maybe. How in the hell did he even... Not gonna ask questions I don't know if I want the answer to. But anyway, so, Jesus, let me... Ugh. Some of the shit I get myself into. So I don't think it's going to be a hard job on there, because it is. Oh, there it is. It's kind of right in front of my face. Actually, I don't know if it's even going to work, but, well, let's dig into it and find out. Well, guys, back on the job again. I had to grab a few fittings from the store here, because... Well, here's what I found out. So here's my original motor that came out of here. It's a wee bit smaller than the one I've got, which I'm not upset about that. That's fine, doesn't hurt my feelings. That still fits in the hole. Downside, the fittings on this one were too small. So I had to run to town, grab some different fittings. I'm gonna plumb this baby in here, and by golly, let's see what happens. I mean, worst case scenario, it doesn't change anything, and I'm only out the 15 bucks it took me to do these fittings. So, no biggie. Let me get after it. There, just run these right in here. You know, I guess there is one more positive I didn't even think about here, but I won't have to have the same size wrench to hold these and the line now. Things just come together sometimes. Let's see, put that back there. All right, guys, if this old barn could tell stories, I bet you there's some nightmares it could tell. Yeah, 1100 back there. That 1100 right there, friends, that is the first 1100 that I ever drove when I was 10 years old. And ever since that tractor, I had the, the bug kind of got me. Running Dad's 265 when I was that age was fun, but running that 1100, man, you were a big dog sitting up on that thing hauling hay. But yeah, nevertheless, let's get back to the task at hand here. Enough about me. Enough trips down memory lane today. Oh, for Christ's sake. Okay, tight enough for me. Now, this is where the real struggle begins. All right, well. Okay, so at least that part's bolted in. Now we'll get these lines attached here. Fortunately, I left everything in just a specific way, so it would all go right back in where I left it. Mostly. That one. And that one. Oh, okay. Can stay there. Okay, top line. Bottom line, yeah, that's going to be a obstacle course, but we'll get him. This one plugged back in. You know, guys, one thing I sure do like about old tractors like this, with the most basic set of hand tools, there isn't much you can't do. All right, well, let me check that fluid level out here. I know there's a screen on the back side of this, but my uncle said he did just clean that out. So, and they just put this pump on here, like relatively, well, I don't know, not that long ago. Let's just say that. All right, we got any? I can't tell. I need a stick. It's got fluid. That's good enough. Well, I guess let's just fire it up and see if any of the symptoms it had have cleared up. It can't be that easy, but I mean, maybe it can. All right, well, get this stuff out of this. Ain't my tractor. I better just jump right up here. I might have fixed it, guys. He said before it took like 5 seconds and those lines were too hot to touch. And I can touch them. If I can get this thing out of here. I got kind of an obstacle course of tractors here, but let's see what happens. Sure how I got that one in here. Talk about a tight squeeze. So I've already driven that tractor farther than it's moved with the hot power steering line. And I mean, that's not bad. And this thing is finger steer tight now. Let's give it a go. Well, friends, I hate to tell him I told him so, but hey, I told him so. No biggie. At least it works. This ain't a bad little tractor. I wonder if he'd sell it. Just kidding. I already know he won't. I already asked. But I guess, guys, I mean, it's fixed. Maybe I should drive it down to his house from here. Well, guys, I guess we should run this down the road because it'll do fine in the driveway. Let's make sure it's got... All right, well, good enough. I'm not going far. And, well, I think these things only use about 3 quarts of fuel per hour at full throttle, so let's give her a run. Here we go. Power works really good. This thing steers like a dream. I'd rather break down on a dirt road than not a dirt road. I'll get back with you. Well, I've been on this tractor about 20 minutes now. Let's go back and see how it's doing. Maybe add a little fluid if it needs it. I'm sure it will. Alright. As you see down this road. Wonderful. Them lines are not anywhere out of the ordinary. I think I'm just going to real quick top off that fluid because I'm sure it had to use some of it up to get all that done. Okay. Yeah, we could stand to top her off a bit. Let's see. Will that fit the hole? Absolutely not. Maybe I should have took this to my house and worked on it. Nope. Then it'd be in my barn. I'd have more troubles. Okay, that's all right. Cap that off, and then I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get all this shit back in the holes. She packed in there like sardines if I ever see it. Okay. Well, guys, I suppose I'm gonna call that a success. Well, I guess the only thing left for me to do is get all these tractors back in that tiny hole there. So on that note, guys, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time. This one's the one I worry about. This old boy's kind of a widow maker here. We got key switch. Doesn't work. Oh, well. Let's try and do this as safely as possible. And the kill switch don't work, so Well, that's just as good as that's gonna get.